How windy is it outside?
The wind's blowing at 22 miles per hour southwest right now.
22-mile-an-hour wind, and I would guess that the gusts are up to 30 or so. I'm just gonna go ahead and do a little bit of pond fishing. I just got done with work for the day and I've got about an hour and a half to kill. So the goal would be to catch some fish with this ultralight in super windy conditions. I've got a drop shot on there right now because that's what I already had rigged up. So I'm gonna start with that. I actually like the drop shot when it's windy because I can actually feel it. It gets down there and it holds its position well. But I'm probably gonna switch to a little spinner. There's a bite. Oh, I definitely just had a little short strike. That must have been a little bluegill. I haven't fished this pond yet this year, so I really don't know if it's gonna be any good. The water's definitely pretty stained, which is not necessarily common. I wouldn't say that this pond is usually super clear, but it's definitely not this dirty usually. I know I could probably catch fish on the drop shot, but given the dirty water and the windy conditions, I really think that this flash and vibration is gonna help me a lot. There you go, little donkey tail junior on a 1/8 ounce Workhorse jig with a gold Bronco Blade. Oh, there's definitely some sunfish down there hitting it. There we go. I knew there'd be a fish right there. Deepens out right there in front of that tube. And I flipped this up there and actually the bait was just kind of helicoptering down the bank. There you go, chunky little bass. See you, buddy. When I say helicoptering down the bank, essentially I cast it up to the bank and I just kind of let it sink down and kept my line tight. And that bait is gonna fall and it's gonna have a spinning helicoptering motion with the blade as it sinks. And that's a great technique to use with these little spinners if you don't want to start your retrieve just yet. If you just want to kind of target a spot, you know, for example, I flip it over that bank and it's a steep bank and I can just let it helicopter right down. And as it was doing it, that's when that fish ate it. It actually bit it on the fall. So that's good to know. That fish didn't necessarily chase it, probably just dropped right in front of his face. There he is. That's super cool. He looks like a dang jungle cat on a hunt. Really? Oh, hey, you gonna be my friend? It's okay. You smell my finger? It smells like fish now. You suppose you probably like that. Oh, cool. He likes me.
Things, because you want to get the scupper cart.
Yeah.
And that's 200 some bucks. And I got a Hobie vest for myself.
Yeah.
And I got one for the cat.
That's not going to be a bad fish right there. Oh, he's a good little one for an ultralight. Yeah, that's what I'm using, is a little ultralight. Oh yeah, and no hooks in this cat, but I'll tell you what, I will definitely happily show the cat. There you go. We'll get him unhooked and then you can... He fought a lot harder than he is. He's pretty small.
We want to get that bass back in as quick as possible.
You want to smell him?
What is that?
Oh yeah.
Oh boy.
That's a nice smell.
Yeah,
all right.
Oh, look at that.
Hey, 2 in a row. How about that? There must be something about that bank. There must be some little minnows blowing up in the shallows or something.
I put a fish finder on it last year. They had one that... Look at this. Look at this.
2 in a row, buddy.
Look at that.
The lucky cat.
Look at that.
Lucky cat.
Look at that. Smell. Ooh.
Oh, you're more interested in the fishing pole. Look at this. This thing's living.
Oh, look at that. Oh.
Little fishing buddy. Look at you. Look at that. Smell that? There's one. Oh, crappie. Sweet. It's not a bad crappie, actually. Nice little black crappie on the little spinner there. I tell you what, I've got a quick update for you. The wind is definitely blowing right here. There you go. Little slab, little guy, nothing fancy. Okay, how about a quick update? I tell you what, I've actually caught a few fish now thanks to that lucky cat that I met. There was a guy walking a cat, so I started talking to him. He was super friendly, also likes fishing, actually fishes out of a kayak quite a lot. And the cat was so cool. Its ancestors are some kind of jungle cat or something, I don't know, but it was really neat. And it liked the fish I was catching, and it seemed to like me. And he said that's not common, so I like to think that I'm the cat whisperer. Either way, a couple things. Number one, check out this shirt that I'm wearing. This is the John Dalton special, my man Creek Fishing Adventures on YouTube. Secondly, the little spinner is working. Now, I'm not gonna tell you that the fishing is exactly on fire, but in these windy conditions with that dirty water back there, it's not bad. I've caught a crappie and I've caught a couple of little chunky bass so far. So I'm gonna fish for another 30 minutes or so and we'll see what happens. All in all though, good day on the water. If there's only one crappie down there, I will be surprised. I gotta imagine there's a second one down there. This feels like a spot that there would be a couple of them. Just gonna kind of work it through that same general vicinity. I apologize for the fact that the wind is probably messing with the audio of this video. I'm not gonna tell you that the production quality today is gonna be quite as good, but that's the way things go when you got 20+ mile an hour wind the entire fishing trip. There's another one. That's another crappie. Yes, sir. Okay, I think there might be a little school of crappie in here. Good, good, good. I'm trying to stand up from the bank to avoid spooking these fish. Little black crappie, nothing special, but always a good time. I'm gonna release him down here. All right, see you, buddy. Cool, okay. Let's make that same cast. I'm just paralleling this thing that's in the water. You know, the thing is, when you have stuff like this in the water, there's always some kind of chain down there. There's something in there that just kind of gives a point of disruption, something that the fish can kind of hang on and get a little bit of comfort by. And you know, it's a good ambush point for something like a crappie that's going to want to suspend in the water column. There's another one. Man, these bites are so light, they're so faint, and you just have to pay attention. Like, your blade will just basically stop moving. You don't necessarily feel a huge bite. The blade just kind of stops moving and your line just kind of isn't right. So you just set the hook. Again, it's not like a typical bass bite where they just come up and hammer it. It's a much softer bite with these crappie. See, buddy? Cool, 3 fish off the same little spot. I like that. I snagged the chain. That was stupidity. Stupidity at its best. Dadgummit. Dadgummit. Ay, 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 ay. We're gonna do a Mule Minnow 2.2 on a chartreuse workhorse jig, and then the same gold blade. Well, all in all, I would say that the spinner, there's one. I was gonna say, all in all, the spinner worked quite well. Now I was gonna say, I felt like the fish definitely showed a preference to the black color, but there we go, we finally got one on the chartreuse. That feels good. So they will eat the chartreuse. One of the bigger bass I've caught today, so that's saying a lot. He's about a little 12-incher. This one feels pretty healthy though. Happy to catch him, certainly happy to catch him. See you, bud. Tell you what, I do think the black on black was the better remove. That black on black with the gold spinner as opposed to the chartreuse with the gold. I mean, this obviously just proved that it does work, but it seemed like that black really worked just a little better. From a fishing standpoint, I'd say the highlight of the trip were the crappie. There's another bass. From just a total standpoint, I would say the highlight was really the cat, dude. That cat was awesome. I wish that cat could just come home with me and be my pet. It was a really cool cat. But I tell you what, another bass, my friends. Well, the chartreuse does in fact work. There's 2 fish on it. There you go. Maybe color doesn't matter. I don't know. All the bass are the same size. They're all anywhere from like 10 to 13 inches. Just little dinks. Good times on ultralight. Perfect size fish for ultralight, honestly. Well, I tell you what, for about an hour and a half after work, I would say we did pretty good. Not gonna say we caught any giants, not gonna say we exactly lit them up, but on a really windy day where I would normally stay home, I will certainly take it. I'm talking about 20+ mph winds. They're still blowing. The water's stained because of all this rain we've been having, and I was able to catch fish, so I'm pretty happy. Thank you so very much for watching. Make sure to stay tuned for future videos, and I'm really excited to get back out in the kayak because that's what I want to be doing right now, but I just didn't have the time. But next time, I trust we'll have the time. Okay, I think it's time to go home. Later.